everyone, I'm Kim Price, and today I wanted to share a really fun way to create a journal page or to kickstart some creative flow or just to, do something new. So you'll notice right away that I'm working on a Teflon sheet, which is pretty important to a part of the process we're about to undertake. And I've also got some tissue papers, some mulberry papers, my black Dilutions journal, and a paper serviette. I'm finding myself pretty drawn to this textured mulberry paper, so I'm just going to go with that and tear off a section and arrange it somehow on the page. Now I'm brushing some plain white gesso over my journal page. Not too much, just enough for me to create, some lovely light and shadow effects in the background. And you know what? I'm just going to smear it off with my hands here, and it might be a good time to mention I use a barrier cream on my hands for just such an occasion. And you can just go ahead now and apply your mulberry paper to your journal page using some matte medium in the usual way, underneath and over above to create a seal. And set the whole thing aside while we go on to the next step. So it's time to separate our serviette into layers, and I like to just tear a small corner section off as a starting point and carefully peel away the bottom layer. And you can totally set the pretty layer aside and use that on another project another day. I'm taking a soft bristled brush now and dipping it into some Liquitex Quinacridone Magenta acrylic ink and just gently brushing it over the tissue to create some marks. And I've also added a few spots of deep violet and then some white gesso and started to blend the gesso in with the inks to create other shades of those colours. If you find your ink is drying out too fast, then just add a very light spritz of water and keep going. But be aware that your tissue is now super delicate. So very gentle dabbing strokes really are the best way to go. And it's also pretty important for me to mention here that I am using a dry brush all the time. So it's not going into the water to clean it off. When I need to clean my brush off, I clean it with a paint rag, not the water, and just keep right on painting. So I'm going to speed the footage up now and let you follow along, and you'll notice at some point that I add some soft-bodied acrylic paint into the mix, and the soft-bodied paint really helps to stabilize the tissue paper. And you'll find that when it comes to transferring your design, it'll be a lot easier for you to do that. So here I am now. I'm pretty happy with my design, but before we move on, I'm going to go in with some white gesso around the very edges. Again, just to add that strength to the tissue paper so that when we peel it off our Teflon sheet, it's not going to crumble. At this point now, you can either set your painting aside to dry naturally, or you can go in with a heat tool, or in my case, a hairdryer, on a low setting and just gently dry it off. And you just really want to make sure that the whole design is completely dry before attempting to peel it from the Teflon. How you approach this next step really is entirely up to you as far as design goes. You could definitely use your design as a whole piece, or you could separate it like I'm about to do into smaller pieces. And to do this, you could just tear straight into it and let luck be your guide. Or if you're after something a little bit more accurate, use a soft brush dipped into some water and simply traced around your tear line. This makes it really easy to separate your pieces. It's time to play around, move things about, switch them around, change them up, work out what you like, what you don't like. And when you're happy with your arrangement, use some matte medium to adhere them into your journal. I really like to take my time here. I like to smooth out all those air bubbles, make sure there's, if there's any bumps or wrinkles, try to flatten them out as much as I can. I love texture, but I don't want it to detract from my finished painting. So there you have it. A really fun and inspiring technique that you can use as is or as a starting point for another painting. If you're interested in seeing how my painting turned out, please hang around for the end of the film. I've included some photographs, and thanks for watching. Thank you.